Welcome. Violence, mental health, trauma have become focal points of many leaders around the world to assist in the healing of the people of their community. In my city of Cleveland, Ohio, it's no different. But it's one aspect that many initiatives, events, they often overlook. But I have my own opinion and ideology that many of these issues that we are dealing with stem from interaction. Yes, interaction is what I believe is the stem component that leads to many forms of mental health, most forms of violence, and an unbelievably high percentage of trauma. In the form of arguments and sometimes debates, these acts multiply the effects that may become. See, in my life, I have had 140 fights. My name is Leon Merida, and I'm 48 years young, and I used to be the hottest of hotheads. But today, I am part of local government in Cleveland, Ohio. And this right here, this is a YouTube station called Foundation for Elevation Station. It's very important for us to lay down a foundation of healing, a foundation that we may build a culture from. This is an aspect that is growing because as I speak to groups of people, it is an overwhelming agreement that I have some angles to deal with mental health. Because today, in 2024, we have mental health becoming to be a hustle. Yes, many people are using their counseling degrees, their therapeutic services to basically be a person's friend and to lay them on their sofa. And I'm not trying to discredit, I'm making a point. I apologize if you feel as though this is discrediting an individual, but I am discrediting the methods that we are continue to practice with an initiating status quo on how we're going to deal with our mental health issues, with the trauma, with violence. We are often encouraged to lean back on that sofa and tell us all about our life while the person sits there and try to pinpoint certain things, certain points that you speak about in your life so they can guide you into feeling good, and you leave this interview session feeling good. And oftentimes it ends up being a temporary feeling good, and we leave those offices without the proper tactics, methods, and practices to walk the course of our lives, to share with other people that we may have in our household, people of our community, these certain tactics that can be used to help all of us deal with violence, trauma, and mental health. See, healing is real health. And there's no way that we can begin to heal if we don't maintain a proper diet, a proper exercise regimen to help the brain function efficiently and effectively. But I'm not going to go into that right there, at this time. But those are major components to healing that many leaders and practitioners of health often evade, because many people tend to be lazy and don't want to give the effort into delivering real healing to self. So if I was in person, yeah, I would find and group people off and have different short exercises to alert individuals on how to build their exercise regimens into stress relieving, depression relieving sessions. This is what I do when I exercise. But it's no temporary relief in that, because many days I may exercise twice, and guess what? I'm getting healthier. And you wouldn't believe how great a six-pack really makes you feel. Like, children, adults, no one can disagree with how great a six-pack makes you feel. Or when you pop that bicep, this is therapeutic. This helps with mental health. But I wish to give you a real tangible practice that will alleviate the trauma, the mental health, and give you tactics to deal with violence or traumatic episodes that may occur in your life. And those two practices are pausing and breathing. No, it's not like any time you ever heard, because I hear a lot about breathing. But to strategically use these two is paramount for the healing of you and your family, loved ones, and community. Number one is pausing. See, I referenced that we have interactions at the core of many of these issues. So when we are in an interaction, it's a great practice to practice pausing. You may be in a conversation and it's leaning towards a debate, and you understand it, and you want to make your point because it's so juicy. It's important for us to realize there's three parts to communication. It's listening, it's talking, but in the middle, it's analyzing. And while we analyzing what the person is saying, what are we doing? Are we just waiting to speak and say our part? This is where a lot of interactions turn into full-blown arguments or debates. So the first part of pausing is, as we're listening, think about what the person is saying. This can happen in many domestic violence situations. Please use it. When it's getting hot and heavy and a person says their heart, do your best to listen, analyze, look them in the eye. When they're finished, you say, I understand what you're saying, but just to make sure, you said 1, 3, 6, right? Like, that's how I understand it. Oh, so you agree. I clearly agree with the points you made, and I'm going to work at it. Analyze, pause, analyze, regurgitate back, recite back what the person is talking about. Do not blow it into a fight, a battle, back and forth. Because if a person is getting heated up, you are only driving this thing into a heated situation. Recognize it. That's one example, that if we were in person, I would have a certain way to enact and get practice. And the second practice is breathing. This is a breathing that I clearly understand that not only will help us, that helps me deal with issues and violent situations, it helps me think better. You ever seen someone that is incapacitated in the hospital and they have the monitor hooked up to them and it's making the little sounds, boop, boop, as they're breathing in and out, inhale, exhale? Yeah, I heard it many a times. Probably too many times, to tell you the truth. And I always wondered, why are they breathing so slow? Until I started to study things from other cultures. Great studies that depict about utilizing every breath as deep as possible in our body, because we breathe so shallow and short, especially in America, we don't utilize the oxygen effectively. We are not supporting the functionality in our body's organs. So what I started to do is to breathe slowly. Practice it with me as I go. We want to breathe as slow as possible. Never to make it forced on the inhale, exhale. So we want to breathe as slowly and as smoothly as possible, and make it as long as possible, slowly and long, in and out. Let's begin. That was all in. Now I'm releasing. To make a long story short, within 60 seconds, 1 minute, I'm able to turn 2.5 breaths during that time. 1 inhale, exhale, 2 inhale, exhales. So that's 4 motions. And then I get to a 5th in 60 seconds time. This allows my brain to operate efficiently. Continue. I encourage you to keep breathing as I speak, slow as possible. So your inhale, just starting out, should be 8 to 12 seconds. And don't pull the breath in until it's uncomfortable. Keep it comfortable. And then release it smoothly, which should be 1 or 2 seconds less than it was. But as you get greater, you'll get greater. Keep practicing. Right now, as I speak, you in as slowly and as smoothly as possible, and exhale as slowly and as smoothly as possible, and continue. And notice how your head and brain feels. If you are a person that has high tension, you will feel the easing. If you are a person that has decent health practices and good health practices with your diet, you will start to feel different explosions of electricity as you breathe efficiently in this manner. I love to practice this method of breathing a lot of time during the day while I exercise. When I'm at a slow pace running, and you could feel the easing of your spirit. So I encourage you to make it a daily practice of yours, because it has helped me immensely. And if we were in person, I'll also incorporate this in a reenactment of an argument. Someone will be saying things that may belittle you. And what happened? What would happen? You would take a step back, pause, think of your response. Wow, you are breathing in this effective manner. And I promise you, you will not react. You will respond. See, what happens so much as we get in these debates, arguments, interactions, we are in so much of a rush to respond. We are so tense. We are tense. Our body locks up. Don't be talking to me like that. Or, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And we back and forth when we can practice pausing, listening, analyzing, and breathing, which will ease the traumatic effects on our body. Hold any mental illness at bay that may be present, and even ease it, and virtually eliminate any threat of a violent act happening. I speak from experience. My name is Leon Meredith, and I represent the foundation that will be for our communities and culture. Foundation for Elevation. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Breathe.